Om Namo Hare Krishna. Text 1. Sutta Uvacha Mahipatistva Atha Tatkarma Garyaham Vichintyana Atma Kritam Sudharmuhna Aho Maya Nicham Annar Yavat Kritam Niragasi Brahmani Buddha Tejasi.
Translation, Hare Krishna. Sri Sutta Goswami said, while returning home, the king Maharaj Parikshit felt that the act he had committed against the faultless and powerful Brahmana was heinous and uncivilized. Consequently, he was distressed.
Text 2. Dhruvam tato mikrita deva helanad duryatyayam vyasanam nati dirgata tad astu kamam yaga nishkrityame yatha na kuryam punarevam mada.
King Parikshit thought, due to my neglecting the injunctions of the Supreme Lord, I must certainly expect some difficulty to overcome me in the near future. I now desire without reservation that the calamity come now, for in this way I may be freed of the sinful action and not commit such offense again.
Adyaiva rajyam balam riddhakosham prakopita brahma kulano nalome dahatva abhadrasya punarname bhut papiyasi dvija deva gopya.
I am uncivilized and sinful due to my neglect of Brahminical culture, God consciousness, and cow protection. Therefore, I wish that my kingdom, strength, and riches burn up immediately by the fire of the Brahmana's wrath, so that in the future I may not be guided by such inauspicious attitudes.
Sachintyam itham atharasnodyatha mune sutokto nirtri taksasya kaha sasadu menena chirena takshasa nalam prashaktasya virakti karanam.
While the king was thus repenting, he received news of his imminent death, which would be due to the bite of a snake bird, occasioned by the curse spoken by the sage's son. The king accepted this as good news, for it would be the cause of his indifference toward worldly things.
Atho vyayemam amum chalokam vimarastistu heyatasya purastat Krishna grihi sevam adhimanyamana upavisat prayam amartya nadyam.
Maharaj Parikshit sat down firmly on the banks of the Ganges to concentrate his mind in Krishna consciousness, rejecting all other practices of self-realization because transcendental loving service to Krishna is the greatest achievement, superseding all other methods.
Yavailasachri tulasi vimishra Krishnangiri rena Yadi kambu netri punati lokan ubhayatra sesan kastam na sevata marisyamahana.
The river by which the king sat to fast carries the most auspicious water, which is mixed with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord and tulsi leaves. Therefore, that water sanctifies the three worlds, inside and outside, and even sanctifies Lord Shiva and other demigods. Consequently, everyone who is destined to die must take shelter of this river.
Iti vyavachidya sapandaveyah prayopavesham prati vishnupadyam dadau मुकुन्दगृहम् अनन्यो भावो मुनिव्रतो mukta samasta sanga.
Thus the king, the worthy descendant of the Pandavas, decided once and for all and sat on the Ganges bank to fast until death and give himself up to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who alone is able to award liberation. So, freeing himself from all kinds of association and attachments, he accepted the vows of a sage.
तत्रोपाजाग्मुर्भुवनं पुनाना महानुभाव मुनयः शिष्यः प्रायेण तीर्थभृङ्गमपादेशः स्वयं हि तीर्थानि पुनति सन्तः.
At that time, all the great minds and thinkers, accompanied by their disciples and sages who could verily sanctify a place of pilgrimage just by their presence, arrived there on the plea of making a pilgrim's journey.
अत्रिरवशिष्ठाश्चवन्नसारद्वान् अरिस्तानमेर् भृगुरङ्गिराश्च परसारो गदिसुतोऽथा रामा उत्थात्य इन्द्रप्रमादे माधवो मेधातिथिर्देवला अर्स्तितो सेनो भरद्वाजो गौतमः पिप्पलादः मैत्रेया औरव केवश कुम्भयानुर्द्वैपान्यो भगवान् नारदाश्च.
From the different parts of the universe there arrived great sages like Atri, Chavana, Sharadvan, Arishtanemi, Bhrigu, Vashishta, Parashara, Vishwamitra, Angira, Parashurama, Utatya, Indra Pramada, Idmavahu, Medatithi, Devala, Arshtisena, Bharadvaja, Gautama, Pipalada, Maitreya, Orva, Kavasha, Kumbhayoni, Dvaipayana, and the great personality Narada.
अन्ये च देवर्षि ब्रह्मर्षि वार्या राजर्षि वार्या अरुणादायाश्च नानावर्ण समेतान् अभ्यर्च्य राजा शिरसा ववन्दे.
There were also many other saintly demigods, kings, and special royal orders called Arunadayas, a special rank of Rajarshis from different dynasties of sages. When they all assembled together to meet the Emperor Parikshit, he received them properly and bowed his head to the ground.
सुखोपविस्ते स अथ तेषु भूया कृतप्राणामः स्वचित्तसिं यत् विज्ञापायाम् अस विविक्तचेता उपस्थितो ग्रे भृगतिपनिः.
After all the rishis and others had seated themselves comfortably, the king, humbly standing before them with folded hands, told them of his decision to fast until death.
राजोवाच अहो वयं धन्यतामान् नृपाणां महत्तामानुग्रहणीया श्रीलः राजनां कुलं ब्रह्मणा पादसौचद दुराद्विष्ट्रं बातग्रहकर्म.
The fortunate king said, "Indeed, we are the most grateful of all the kings who are trained to get favors from the great souls. Generally, you sages consider royalty as refuse to be rejected and left in a distant place.
तस्यैमे गास्य परवरेशो व्यसक्त चित्तस्य ग्रहेश अभीक्षणां निर्वेद मूलो द्विज सपारूपो यात्रा प्रसक्तो भयांस असतु दत्ते.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the controller of both the transcendental and mundane worlds, has graciously overtaken me in the form of a Brahmana's curse. Due to my being too much attached to family life, the Lord, in order to save me, has appeared before me in such a way that only out of fear I will detach myself from the world.
Tam apoyatam prati yantu vipra ganga cha devi drita chitam ise dvijo prashat kuhakasak taksaso va dasatva alam gayata vishnu gatah.
O Brahmanas, just accept me as a completely surrendered soul, and let Mother Ganges, the representative of the Lord, also accept me in that way, for I have already taken the lotus feet of the Lord into my heart. Let the snake bird or whatever magical thing that the Brahmana created bite me at once. I only desire that you all continue singing the deeds of Lord Vishnu.
पुनश्च भूयाद भगवति अनन्ते रति प्रसङ्गाश्च तद आश्रयेषु महास्तु यं यम् उपयामि सृष्टिं मैत्रे अस्तु सर्वत्र नमो द्विजपेये.
Again, after offering obeisances unto all you Brahmanas, I pray that if I should again take my birth in the material world, I will have complete attachment to the unlimited Lord Krishna, association with his devotees, and friendly relations with all living beings.
इति स्म रजद्य वसस्य युक्तः प्रचानि मूलेषु कुसेषु द्रिह उडानमुखो दक्षिणी कुलात् अस्ते समुद्रपत्नः सुतनस्यते भारः.
In perfect self-control, Maharaj Parikshit sat down on a seat of straw, with straw roots facing the east, placed on the southern bank of the Ganges, and he himself faced the north. Just previously, he had given charge of his kingdom over to his son.
एवं च तस्मिन् नरदेव देवे प्रयोपविष्टे दिवि देव सङ्गः प्रशस्य भूमौ व्याकिरन् प्रसूर्णैर्मुदमुहुर्मुन्दभश्च भयश्च नेदु.
Thus the king, Maharaj Parikshit, sat to fast until death. All the demigods of the higher planets praised the king's actions and in pleasure continually scattered flowers over the earth and beat celestial drums.
महारस्य रसयो वै समुपगतये प्रसस्य सदैव इति मोदमनः उचु प्रजानुग्रहसि श्रीलसारा यद उत्तम श्लोक गुणाभिरपुरम्.
All the great sages who were assembled there also praised the decision of Maharaj Parikshit, and they expressed their approval by saying, "Very good." Naturally, the sages are inclined to do good to common men, for they have all the qualitative powers of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, they were very much pleased to see Maharaj Parikshit, a devotee of the Lord, and they spoke as follows.
नव इदं राजर्षि वर्य चित्रं भवत्सु कृष्णां समनुवृतेषु ये दृश्यानां राजकिरीचाजुत्स्नां साध्यो जभुर्भागवत परस्वकामः.
The sages said, O chief of all the saintly kings of the Pandu dynasty who are strictly in the line of Lord Sri Krishna, it is not at all astonishing that you give up your throne, which is decorated with the helmets of many kings, to achieve eternal association with the personality of Godhead. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So beautifully recited. Alka Mataji and Chaitanya Mataji. So wonderful recitations. Okay, so we shall move into the next part of our program. Srimad Bhagavatam. I shall share my screen. Okay, so before we start Srimad Bhagavatam, so we shall recite Mangalacharan prayers. Om अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांशं श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश। हे कृष्ण करुण सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकास स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतां स्वकथाः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृद्यन्तस्थो ह्य भद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृसतां। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। एते चां शकलाः पुंसः कृष्णस्तु भगवान् स्वयम् इन्द्रारिव्याकुलं लोकं मृडयन्ति युगे युगे। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म संहितम् उत्तमश्लोकचरितं चकार भगवान् ऋषिः निःश्रेयसाय लोकधन्यं स्वस्त्रये नमः। कृष्णे सुदामोपगते धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह कलो न सदृशामेषा पुराणार्को अधुनोदितः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रये। अथ विश्वेश विश्वात्मन् विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेषु मे स्नेहपाशमिं चिन्तिदृढं पाण्डुषु विष्णुषु त्वयि मेनन्य विषया मतिर्मदपते सकृत् प्रतिमुद्वाहत गङ्गेवघमुदन्वती। हे कृष्ण कृष्ण सखा विष्णु ऋषभावनिधृ राजन्यवंशदहनानपवर्गवीर्य गोविंद गोद्विज सुराट हरावतार योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते। योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते। योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते। तुलयामलवेनापि न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवं भगवत्सङ्गीसङ्गस्य मत्येनां किमुत शिशहं पुनश्च भूयाद् भगवच्चनन्ते रतिः प्रसङ्गाश तदाश्रयेषु महस्तुयां यामुप्यां सृष्टिं मैत्रस्य सर्वत्र नमो द्विजेभ्यः ॐ नमो भगवते राधा गोविन्दाय नमः हरे कृष्ण. Okay, so thank you so much. So we are in the first canto, chapter 19, verse number 7 and 8. So here Parikshit Maharaj in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So after he was cursed by Shringi and he has come to the banks of Ganges, and then he decided to do Prayopavesha. So Suta Goswami in the last verse he was saying, any person who took a birth within the material body, at the end of before he ends his life, he must take the shelter of lotus feet of Krishna. And the lotus feet of Krishna, it is always tinged with the tulsi leaves and the dust coming from the Lord's lotus feet. It is mixed and it gives a different fragrant, very transcendental fragrance. So यावै लस्री तुलसी विमिश्रा कृष्णांग्रि रेणुः अभ्युदिकात् अम्भुनेत्री पुनाति लोकान् उभयत्र शेषान् कस्तां न सेवेत मरिष्यमानः whoever is going to die, before that he must take the shelter of lotus feet of Krishna. So that is what Goswami says. So now Parikshit, he is now coming to take the shelter of lotus feet of Krishna. So we are in the first canto, chapter 19, verse number 7. So we shall recite this verse and then. इति व्यवच्छिद्य स पाण्डवेयः प्रायोपवेशं प्रति विष्णुपद्भ्यां ददौ मुकुन्दाङ्घ्रिम् अनन्यभावो मुनिव्रतो मुक्तसमस्तसङ्गः. इति व्यवच्छिद्य स पाण्डवेयः. इति व्यवच्छिद्य स पाण्डवेयः. So in this way, Parikshit he has decided iti vyavachidya sa Pandaveyah, and he is the worthy descendant of Pandavas. He is the worthy descendant of Pandavas. Iti sa vyavachidya sa Pandaveyah prayopavesham prati Vishnupadhyam. And what he decided to do? Prayopavesham prati Vishnupadhyam, and towards the Vishnupadhyam. And what is the Vishnupadhyam? This is the banks of the Ganges. Emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord Vishnu. This is Ganges. And what is that? And then what he has done? Dadu Mukundangrim Ananya Bhavo. He has completely surrendered. Dadu himself. He has given himself. Dadu Mukundangrim. And the Lord who gives liberation, Mukunda Angrim, unto his lotus feet. He has submitted himself, Ananya Bhavo, without thinking anything else, just completely. This is Sarvadharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Saranam Raja. So this is completely, he has Dhado Mukundangri Ananya Bhavo Munivrato Mukta Samasta Sangaha. Munivrata. So here he is mentioned, Parikshiti is a Munivrato Mukta Samasta Sangaha. He is already Rajarshi. So he is a saintly king. Now he has taken the path of Munivrata. Munivrata is with the vow of a sage. Mukta and liberated from Samasta Sangaha and all kinds of the material association. All kinds of material association. So in such a way he completely decided and he has surrendered himself unto the lotus feet of Krishna. इति व्यवचिद्य सपाण्डवेयः प्रायोपवेशं प्रति विष्णुपद्भ्यां ददौ मुकुन्दाङ्घ्रिम् अनन्यभावो मुनिव्रतो मुक्तसमस्तसङ्गः. So beautifully, this is the path of all the liberated souls. Okay, let us see the translation. So thus the king, the worthy descendant of the Pandavas, decided once and for all and sat on the Ganges bank to fast until death and give himself up to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who alone is able to award liberation. So, freeing himself from all kinds of associations and attachments, he accepted the vows of a sage. And purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So the water of the Ganges sanctifies all the three worlds, including the gods and demigods, because it emanates from the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Lord Krishna is the fountainhead of the principle of Vishnu Tattva, and therefore shelter of his lotus feet can deliver one from all sins, including an offense committed by a king onto a Brahmana. Maharaja Parikshit therefore decided to meditate upon the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna, who is Mukunda, or the giver of liberations of all description. The banks of the Ganges or the Yamuna give one a chance to remember the Lord continuously. Maharaja Parikshit freed himself from all sorts of material association and meditated upon the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And that is the way of liberation. To be free from all material association means to cease completely from committing any further sins. To meditate upon the lotus feet of the Lord means to become free from the effects of all previous sins. The conditions of the material world are so made that one has to commit sins willingly or unwillingly. And the best example is Maharaja Parikshit himself, who was a recognized sinless, pious king. But he also became a victim of an offense. Even though he was ever unwilling to commit such a mistake, he was cursed also. But because he was a great devotee of the Lord, even such reverses of life became favorable to him. The principle is that one should not willingly commit any sin in his life and should constantly remember the lotus feet of the Lord without deviation. Only in such a mood will the Lord help the devotee make regular progress toward the path of liberation and thus attain the lotus feet of the Lord. Even if there are accidental sins committed by the devotee, the Lord saves surrendered soul from all sins, as confirmed in all scriptures. Swapadamoolam bhajatah priyasya chaktanyabhasya harih pareshaham vikarmayaccha utpaditam katanchet dhunoti sarvam hridi sannivishtaha. Says Swapadamoolam bhajatah priyasya, and whoever takes the shelter of lotus feet of Krishna, Swapadamoolam bhajatah priyasya, and the Lord, they are very dear to the Lord. Chaktani abhavasya harihi pareshaha. And by just rejecting all these material things and taking the shelter of lotus feet of Krishna, so Lord will be very pleased with such kind of people. Vikarma yacha utpaditam katanchet. And by any chance, if these devotees who have taken shelter and utpatitam katanchet, if they by any chance, if they make any mistakes, dhunoti sarvam hridi sannivishtaha, and Krishna, he so kindly relieve him from all kinds of sinful reactions. Dhunoti sarvam hridi sannivishtaha, because he is sitting in the heart of a devotee. So that is the powerful association, and also taking shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. So Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he also says, Atichet sudhracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadureva samantavyaha samyak vyavhito hi saha. So apichet sudhracharo, if by any mistake, that is anyone in the sense, a devotee by any chance, if he makes a mistake, and he needs to be considered still as a sadhu only, not a sinful person. Sadhureva samantavyaha samyak vyavhito hi saha. He is already situated in the path of liberation and into devotions unto the lotus feet of Krishna. Apiche sudhracharo bhajate ananya bhak bhajate mam ananya bhak. So Krishna says that one. So here Parikshit Maharaj, he has taken the lotus feet of Krishna. Dhadau mukundangrim ananya bhavo munivrato mukta samasta sangaha, from all kinds of attachments. So this is and then so this is also mentioned in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Satu samsravayamasa maharajam parikshitam prayopavishtam gangayam paritam paramarshibhihi. So it is the similar kind of thing. And here and also Vishnu Padyam on the branches of Ganges, Mother Ganges, the power of Ganges and also the devotees. The comparison also given by the Saunakadi sages when the Suta Goswami arrived at the Naimisharanya. So they were requesting Yatpada Samsaryaha Suta Munaya Prasinti. So they were glorifying Suta Goswami. Yatpada Samsaryaha Suta Munaya Prasamayanaha Sadyah Punanti Upasprushtaha Swadhuni Apo Anusevaya. Swadhuni Apo Anusevaya. Here Swadhuni is the Ganges river. If one takes the shelter of Mother Ganges, they will be easily liberated. But that is a considerable amount of time. But if one takes the shelter of the lotus feet of a devotee, he would be liberated very quicker than that. So here a comparison also given by the Savanakadi sages in the beginning. Yatpada Sansriyaha Sota Munaya Prasimayanaha. So this is they are also saying that one. Sadyah punanti upasrustaha swadhuni swadhuni apo anusevaya. So if we do the service to the Mother Ganges, it takes considerable time. But here devotees. So here Parikshit, he is now coming to the Ganges river. Now what is going to happen, we will see later on in the next verse. And in this purport, Prabhupada is explaining about the offenses made by a devotee and Lord, because he is also saying here in this verse, Dhunodi sarvam hridisannivishtaha. So that situation, it was coming as a favorable to the Parikshit. So it became favorable. So that is the power of a devotee who has taken the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. And also here one of the Brahma's prayers to the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, he says, Yetutvadiya charanam bhujakosha gandham jigranti karna vivaraihi sutivatanitam bhakta gruhita charana parayaja tesham na paishinada hrudayam buruha swapumsam. And he says, oh my dear Lord, who have taken the shelter of your lotus feet, and Yetu tvadiya charanam bhujakosha gandham jigranti karna vivaraihi sutivatanitam bhakta gruhita charana parayacha tesham na paishinada hrudayam buruha swapumsam. Oh my dear Lord, you are always sitting in the heart of a devotee who is always hearing your Krishna Katha coming from with a fragrant flavor coming from your lotus feet. Jigranti karna vivaraihi sutivatanitam. So that is the devotee, and Lord, he is never separated from the devotee. He looks after him. So he is always favorable to the devotee. So here Parikshit, he has taken, and here in the Chatushloki Bhagavata, the Lord says to Brahma also, at the end of everyone's life, one has to come to the lotus feet of Krishna. Yetavadev jijñāsum tatvijñāsunātmanah anvaya vitirekabhyam yatsya sarvada sarvat. He says, at all point of time, every research, it has to come to the ultimate, that Supreme Lord is the destination. It is the fourth shloka of the Chatushloki Bhagavata. Yetavadev jijñāsum tatvijñāsunātmanah anvaya vitirekabhyam yatsya sarvatra sarvadha. So that Lord says, now Parikshit has come to the end of his life. So here he has taken the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. He completely surrendered. Dadau mukundangrim ananya bhavo, without any further thought. So that is the complete surrender, complete conviction. And with that one, he is free from to meditate upon the lotus feet of the Lord means to become free from the effects of all previous sins. Free from all previous sins. This is so beautifully says. As soon as one comes to Krishna, unless one is completely free from sinful activities, he cannot come to Krishna consciousness. That is also Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita. So that is here. So that is the glories of Krishna's lotus feet and the Parikshit, the devotee. Okay, so that is from here. Iti vyavachidya sapandaveyaha prayopavesham prativishnupajjam dhado mukundangrim anya bhavo munivrato mukta samasta sangaha. And here, even the Parikshit, he is a king, he is also compared like a Munivrata. There were also previously kings like the Swayambhu Manu, the first king. He was also, when he was ruling his kingdom, he was also completely perfect in his Rajashi, knowing about the yoga and the devotional service. So his life spent with his family and all his subjects, always hearing Krishna Katha. And even though he is enjoying, he never fall down. So it is also meant, and he spent 71 yuga cycles just by hearing Krishna Katha. So it is unimaginable. Hearing Krishna Katha, 71 yuga cycles. So Sabarya Saprajaha Kaman Bubuje Anya Avirodataham Sangiyamanasa Satkitihi Sastrihi Suragayakaihi Prativushesu Anubadhena Pradhashurun Harehe Kataha. Every day morning he hears Nishnatum Yoga Mayasu Munim Swayam Bhavamanam Yedda Pramshitum Bhogaha Nasekuhu Bhagvat Param. Nasekuhu Bhagvat Param. Even though he is enjoying, he never fall down. He is Munim Swayambhu Manum. He is mentioned as a Munim Swayambhu Manum. Yedda Pramshitum Bhogaha Nasekuhu Bhagvat Param. Ayatayamaha tasyasan yamaha swantarayapanaha Shrinvato Dhyayato Vishnuho Kuruto Bruvataha Kataha. Every day he hears and reads scriptures and hear Shrinvato Dhyayato Vishnuho Kuruto Bruvataha Kataha Saivam Swantaram Ninye Yuganam Ekasaptatim 71 yugas. Vasudeva Prasangena Paribhota Gatitrayaha. Vasudeva Prasangena Paribhota Gatitrayaha. So beautifully, 71 yoga cycles he spent just by hearing Krishna Katha. We are simply here living maximum 100 years out of all these things. Where are we spending all our time? So that we have to think about it. And by hearing what happens, Srirama Manasa Divyaha. So this is Bhautikasha Katam Kleshaha Bhadante Harisamsrayam. And all these pains of all this, no one would experience because all this Bhadante Harishamsayam, they have taken the lotus feet of Krishna. So this is how the Swayambhu Manu, he has spent all his life. We have got just hardly 70 years maximum. So further, even if we consider from this point of time, even if we think we are of 25 years old, so it won't be 71 yoga cycles, but it is very easy for us. We have got Prabhupada and Srimad Bhagavatam. As soon as we hear Bhagavatam, Yasyam Vaishruyamayanam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktirutpadyate Pumsah Shoka Moha Bhayapaha. So this devotional service, this devotional love towards God, it sprouts from the heart as soon as we keep hearing Krishna Katha. So now Parikshit, he has completely surrendered himself to the lotus feet of Krishna. So let us see what is happening after that. So Suta Goswami is saying further. So now he has come to, Parikshit has come to Ganges. Tatropa Jagmuhu Bhunam Punana Mahanubhava Munaya Satishyaham Prayeni Hidabi Gama Padeshaihi Swayam Hiti Dhani Punanti Santaham Tatra Upajagmuhu Bhunam Punana. Tatra Upajagmuhu. So to that place where Parikshit has sat in the banks of Ganges, there Tatra Upajagmuhu Bhunam Punana. And the people who are able to purify this entire Bhunam Punana, entire 14 planetary systems. Tatropajagmuhu Bhunam Punana Mahanubhavaha Munaya Sasishyaha. And they're all the Mahanubhavas. These are the great muniyas, the great munis and great sages, and they have arrived along with their shishyas, their disciples. Tatrupajugmuhu bonam punana mahanubhavaha muniyah sasishyaha. They have come along with all their disciples. Prayenidabi gamapadeshaihi. Prayena. So this is prayenidabi gamapadeshaihi. So they're in the on the plea of that they are going for a pilgrimage places. Prayenatidhabi gamapadeshai. So on the plea of going to the pilgrimage, swayam hitiddhani punanti santaha. So here swayam hitiddhani punanti santaha. They are the Tirthas, the personified Tirthas, and actually they would purify even the other pilgrimage places. So their presence in the pilgrimage places is they will purify they will sanctify entire places, all the situation. And people who are going there, they will be purified. So this is the power of a devotee, saintly people. Prayani hidapi gamapadeshihi swayam hitiddhani punanti santaha. They are competent enough to purify all the places, even the pilgrimage places. Tatra upajagmuhu bhunam punana mahanubhava muneh satisyaha praye nittapi gamapadeshaihi swayam hitiddhani punanti santaha. So translation for this verse. At that time, all the great minds and thinkers accompanied by their disciples and sages who could verily sanctify a place of pilgrimage just by their presence arrived there on the plea of making a pilgrimage's journey. And purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Maharaja Parikshit sat down on the bank of the Ganges, the news spread in all directions of the universe, and the great-minded sages who could follow the importance of the occasion are all arrived there on the plea of pilgrimage. Actually, they came to meet Maharaja Parikshit and not to take a bath of pilgrimage because all of them were competent enough to sanctify the places of pilgrimage. Common men go to pilgrimage sites to get themselves purified of all sins. Thus, the places of pilgrimage become overburdened with the sins of others. But when such sages visit overburdened places of pilgrimage, they sanctify the places by their presence. Therefore, the sages who came to meet Maharaja Parikshit were not very much interested in getting themselves purified like common men, but on the plea of taking a bath in the place, they came to meet Maharaja Parikshit because they could foresee that Srimad Bhagavatam would be spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. All of them wanted to take advantage of the great occasion. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here in this verse, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, and Prabhupada is explaining very beautifully, all these sages, Mahanubhavas, this is Mahanubhavas, they are mentioned like Mahanatmanastumam Pardha Daivim Prakriti Masritaha. So this is, they have taken Daivim Prakriti, shelter of the internal potency of the Lord. And also this is one of, when we are mentioning Savai Maha Bhagavato Mahatma Mahanubhavo Mahatam Mahistaham. Mahanubhavo Mahidam Mahishtaha. This is one of the Prahlada's qualities that Kashpa was saying to Diti Maharani. Mahanubhavo Mahidam Mahishtaha, because he is a devotee of the Lord. That's why he is compared with the Mahanubhava. And here all these great sages, Munayaha. So Munayaha is the sages, they're always contemplate on different philosophies. Different kinds of philosophies. The Muni means he is entirely distinct from another Muni. They have different kinds of philosophies. But Krishna devotees, so there are but all kinds of philosophies, they will coincide in Krishna consciousness. Okay, and all these Munis who have kept Krishna in their heart, this is also mentioned, they are the pilgrimage place. So here, भवद्विदा भागवताः तीर्थभूताः स्वयं विभो तीर्थे कुर्वन्ति तीर्थानि swantastena gadavruta. So this Yudhishthira says to Vidura, saying that, oh Vidura, you are just like a pilgrimage place. Wherever you are, that is a pilgrimage place. So you sanctify all this environment. So the devotees are like that, who keeps Krishna in the heart. They're always in the Atma Rama Shamuniyo Nirbhanda Purukrame Kurvante Kim Bhaktimittam Bhuta Guno Harihi. They're always enjoying in themselves and with the Lord, thinking of the Lord's and what he has done, all his pastimes. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatpataha taktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sojjuna. Krishna says those things. So he remembers all those pastimes, Krishna's beauty, and then he is enjoying. So those are the devotees. They're like a pilgrimages. They sanctify even the pilgrimages. And also Susrusha Siddhanasya Vasudeva Katha Ruchihi Syan Masyeva Vipraha Punyatirthani Shevana. Sutu Goswami in the beginning, he says also Susrusha Siddhanasya Vasudeva Katha Ruchihi. When we try to serve such kind of saintly people, then we get Vasudeva Katha Ruchihi. Syan Masyeva Vipraha Punyatirthani Shevanat. And it is you serve that kind of saintly persons. That is actually you are serving the pilgrimages, because they travel across so many things and they keep Krishna in their heart. Punyatiddhani Shevanat. So that's what the Goswami says in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So if we go to the temple, Bhaktivedanta Manas, the saintly people come and go. So the devotees, they go there. It is just because to get the association, to serve him, to please him. That is the Punyatiddhani Shevanat. Syan, that is called Mahatseva. Syan Mahatseva Vipraha Punyatiddhani Shevanat. Otherwise, without serving a saintly person, without serving a Krishna devotee, it is very difficult for one to elevate themselves in the devotional service. So that is the Krishna only spoke that one. So here and then here, and those places are overburdened by so many people. The common men go, and then they become. So those places are overburdened with the sins of others. But when sages goes there, that burden will be completely reduced. That person. So this is also. That's why one has to take the shelter of the devotee. So Savanaka, the sages, when they're taking shelter of, shelter in the sense, they're asking Sotu Goswami, so they're comparing, Tomna Sandarshita Dhatra, Dustaram Nistiteshatam, we are very fortunate. Dustaram Nistiteshatam, it is very difficult to cross this materialness signs. Kalim Sattvaharam Pumsam, Karnadari Varnavam, and because in this age of Kali, so even the mode of goodness is getting destroyed. But here you are here, Karnadari Varnam, and you just like a sailor. So you would take us on a boat and then cross this materialness signs. Likewise, they compare. That is the saintly person. So in this age, it is very easy to take shelter of the lotus Krishna devotees who have kept Krishna in their heart. That is the easiest thing in this age of Kali. And chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, following the 4 regulative principles, reading the scriptures. So these are Ahimsa Satyam Asteyam Yavat Adha Parigraha Brahmacharyam Tapasaucham Swadhyaya Purusharchanam. So these are the qualities that one has to take. Brahmacharyam Tapasaucham Swadhyaya Purusharchanam. And one has to read the scriptures. Books are the basis. Purity is the force, and preaching is the essence. These are the principles of Krishna consciousness. One has to, everyone are the soldiers of Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One has to give this knowledge to everyone unconditionally. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction to all of his associates. Okay, so here in such a way, Suta Goswami is saying the saintly people, they have come, they are going to come here in the name of a pilgrimage, but actually they're competent enough to purify this place, even the pilgrimages itself. And because they could foresee that Srimad Bhagavatam would be spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, all of them wanted to take advantage of that great occasion. This is a once in lifetime. So that Srimad Bhagavatam is Vyasadeva has compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. It is when he has compiled so many scriptures. Before he was he was meditating, because people are in the fallen souls in this age of Kali. Prayen alpaishah sabhya kalavasmin yuge janaha mandaha sumandamatayo mandabhagyahi upadrutaha. They were misdirected, unfortunate. So likewise, he sees all kinds of unfortunate things for this age of Kali, and he has compiled Mahabharata and so many Puranas, but he was not happy. But he has seen Paravarajnaha, he has seen in his meditation at that time, he has written all these scriptures. But later on, Narada Muni, when he was not happy, then Narada Muni came, and then he has given instructions to him to write Srimad Bhagavatam. Then he sit himself, Bhakti Yogena Manasi, Samyak Pranihite Amale, Apasyat Purusham Purnam, Mayam Jatadapashriyam. Then in the Bhakti Yogena Manasi, when Vyasadeva sit in the meditation with the Bhakti Yogena Manasi, Samyak Pranihite Amale, Apasyat Purusham Purnam, he could see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mayam Jatadapashriyam, and Maya also is behind Krishna, taking the shelter of Krishna. If we do not hold Krishna, then Maya will come and catch us. So Vyasadeva has seen that in his meditation, Bhakti Yogena Manasi. Then that's why he did Anadhopasamam Sakshat Bhakti Yogam Adhokchaje. And to clear up all kinds of anadas in one's life, Bhakti Yogam Adhokchaje, that is Krishna consciousness, devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and then he has compiled this Srimad Bhagavatam. Lokasya ajanato vidvan chakre satpata samhitam. Lokasya ajanato vidvan. He understands that all these people are foolish. And chakre satpata samhitam. This is the satpata samhitam, Srimad Bhagavatam. It has been compiled. And then he has given to his son Sukadeva Goswami, Saram Samudritam. He has taken that Srimad Bhagavatam, and now he has recited to Parikshit later on. And it is going to be coming from the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamale Muguraho Rasika Bhuvaukaha. That is one we have to hear that Bhagavatam from mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. Okay, so that is from this purport, and this verse, so beautiful verses in the Srimad Bhagavatam. When we deeply immerse, then one feel it, those vibrations. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Tatra upajagmuhu punu bhonam punana mahanubha muneh sadishyaha prayeni hidabhi gamapadeshaihi swayam hiridani punanti santaha. Likewise, Sudha Goswami saying. Okay, so I stop here. Now I request dear devotees, if you have got any questions or any comments, or if you wanted to correct anything, so kindly share your thoughts or ask me any questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, as usual, with your very nice voice and deep voice and reciting all these verses so properly, I should say. These two beautiful verses, Prabhuji, remind us of the departure of Bhishma Dev. The scene was a bit similar, where it says, news spread in all directions of the universe. So, and all the sages came along with the Shishya, with all their disciples. So here we can see how pure they were, how they were thinking about the well-being of all others also, not only of themselves. So the sages did not tell their disciples, do the chores and stay back and take care of the ashrama where I am going. So he said, no, Shishya, take all the disciples also, which is not common nowadays. the gurus will go and will leave disciples behind. So because all of them were going to be purified, that is the job of the guru, to make sure that their disciples are purified. So now news spread in all directions of the universe. So how? There were no phone, there were no connection, there were no like codeless or nothing. So our sages, they were so great, so powerful, but just by thinking, the news was being spread everywhere. That's how they got, they could communicate with each other. And this is the beauty of it. But nowadays, everything is so fake. Even though we have all these technologies, we don't convey the right message. We don't convey the right thing at the right time, And also, say the banks of the Ganga or Yamuna give one a chance to remember the Lord continuously. The Lord himself said that. So actually, everything around us, but for this particular moment, Parikshit Maharaj has chosen the Ganga and the Yamuna, which is very purifying. So we know that actually everything around us, the beautiful nature, like the trees, the rivers, the mountains, sun, moon, the light, etc., everything should remind us of the Lord. So even darkness represents the back of the Lord. So that also in some instances. So in some part of the world, we see like in Africa, people pray to the mountains. In India, people pray to the trees, the people tree, right? And we pray to the rivers, to the sea, the ocean. So maybe we do it without knowing why, but maybe it's a culture. Maybe the ancestors have been doing it. Like when we go to the rivers, we just take the water of the river or the sea, we just pour it again back into it. And actually, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, that he is the wind, he is the time, he is, etc. He says this. Similarly, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, he says the rivers are his veins and the trees are his hair. So this morning itself, we had a class about, talking about testimony yesterday morning. So here, Parikshit Maharaj, he mentioned the rivers, Ganga and Yamuna. He is completely immersed in the katha. Unlike other people, we may sit here, we may listen, and then we may, argue or ask questions or look for praman for everything, and then not really paying attention to what the speaker is saying. Sitting on the Vyasasana, I know it's not easy, Prabhuji. You know that. To facilitate a class, you have to do research, maybe a week, 2 weeks, maybe. And then it's over in 45 minutes. But the research that we do is intense. That we should admit that. But thank you, Prabhuji. Anyway, thank you very, very much. It was a very nice class, and we learned more about a deeper meaning about Parikshit, why he chose that place, why he's sitting, and why all the sages came to him. Hare Krishna. Very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, so now we are 45 minutes past. So next part of our program is the Damodarastakam by Girish Prabhuji and Shabani Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji and Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So if you are ready, so
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
get start. Hare Krishna.
Just 1 minute. बोलो श्री श्री यशोदा दामोदर की जय, राधा दामोदर की जय। नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्ठालं गोकुले व्रजमानम्। नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्ठालं गोकुले व्रजमानम्। यशोदाभियोलुकलादवमानं परं प्रस्थामात्यन्तदूर्तगोप्य। रुदान्तमुहुर्नेत्र युग्मं मृजान्ताम् करं भुजायुग्मेन सातकनेत्रम् मुश्वासकम्पं त्र्येकाङ्ककान्ता चित्तग्रवां दामोदरं भक्तिपदम् इति दृक्स्वालीलाम्बिर आनन्दकुन्दे स्वघोषं निजमजान्तामाख्यापयन्ताम् तदिदेष्टिता विष्णु भक्तर्जित्वा त्वाम् पुनः प्रेमातस्तं स तवृत्ति वन्दे वरं देवा मोक्षं न मोक्षं वदिं वा न चान्मे वेनेहं वरिष्ठ अपिह इदं ते वपुर्नाथ गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्य विरस्तं किमन्ये इदं ते मुखं भोजम् अत्यन्तनीलम् वृत्तं कुण्ठालस्निग्ध रक्तसगोप्या मुहुर्चुम्बितां बिम्ब रक्तां धरां मे मनस्य वीरस्ताम् अलं लक्ष्यलब्धे नमो देवा दामोदरनन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभु दुःख जलब्धिमग्नम् कृपा दृष्टिविष्टाति दीनां बतानु घनाशशाममज्मं दक्षिदृश्य कुबेरताब्जो बाधा मृत्वे त्वयाद्व त्वया मोचितो भक्ति भजकराच तथा प्रेम भक्ति स्वकाम्य प्रयांश न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे स्थिदामोदरेह नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्पृददीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोदायार विश्वसदाम्ने नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयां प्रियाय नमो नन्तलीलाय देवय तुभ्यम् नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयां प्रियाय नमो नन्तलीलाय देवय तुभ्यम् हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय यशोदा दामोदर यशोदा दामोदर यशोदा दामोदर राधे जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधे जय यशोदा दामोदर यशोदा दामोदर यशोदा दामोदर राधे जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर Radha Damodar Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokul Nanda Radha Gokul Nanda Radha Gokul Nanda Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Yashoda Maya Jaya Yashoda Maya Yashoda Maya Jaya Yashoda Maya Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Vrindavana Dham Vrindavana Dham Vrindavana Dham Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Yashoda Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. बोलो श्री श्री यशोदा दामोदर की जय, राधा दामोदर की जय, कार्तिक मास की जय. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, so beautifully sung, Mataji. Very beautiful Kirtan.
To the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark-shaped earring are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokul, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was turning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in a fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with greater speed. To that Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, we offer our humble obeisances. Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound not with rope but his mother's pure love, we offer our humble obeisances. By such childhood pastime as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokul in pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by the devotees, whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conception of awe and reverence. With great love, we again offer our obeisance to Lord Damodar hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kind of benediction, we do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, we simply wish that this form of yours, Bal Gopal in Vrindavan, may ever be manifest in our heart. For what is the use to us of any other boon beside this? O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair, tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the brimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in our heart. 1,000 of other benedictions are of no use to us. O Supreme Godhead, we offer our obeisances unto you, O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord. Be pleased upon us by showering your glance of mercy upon us. Deliver these poor ignorant fools who are immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrow and become visible to our eyes. O Lord Damodar, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalkurveva, were delivered from the curse of Narad and made into great devotee by you in your form as a baby, tied with a rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give to us your own prema bhakti. We only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodar, we first of all offer obeisances to the brilliant effulgent rope which binds your belly. We then offer our obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. We humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and we offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes. Radha Damodar ki jai, Yashoda Damodar ki jai.
So beautiful recitations, Prabhuji and Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so before we close, so any other comments or anything else, the devotees you want to mention, or we shall conclude our session?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Really wonderful class. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a very nice class. Hare Krishna.
Very nice class, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful class.
Yes, very
Hare
wonderful
Krishna,
class
Prabhuji.
as
Very
always.
nice
Thank you.
class. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Very
Krishna.
nice class, Prabhuji. Thank you. Bye.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव
Prabhuja, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
अनन्तकोटिवैष्णवभक्तवृन्द
Vaishnavrinda ki Jai.
पादकी जय
Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice class.
His Grace Amogha Das Prabhuji ki Jai.
Jai.
देवदेव के जय श्री प्रभुपाद
Hare
की
Krishna.
Ki Jai.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.